Hello everyone, welcome to another Open Table game. My name's Aaron, better known on Board Game Arena as webberaj, and I'm going to jump into another open commentary game. We've ran these for the last couple of weeks, so I guess this is week 3. So I'm joined today by three other awesome players that are going to play with me. If this is the first time tuning in, basically we're going to play a game of Terra Mystica. It's going to be on training mode. Today's game is base game with the usual settings, auction, variable turn order, mini expansions on, and the landscapes are going to be off. And so it's sort of played open hands. So we're just going to sort of talk openly and share strategy. Even if it might do some damage to our own game, we're actually just going to, mention, sort of critique each other's games as we play, give each other advice, and sort of just generally talk through what's on our mind as we're sort of making decisions. If you have any thoughts or ideas of what we should be doing or critiques of past moves, please let us know in chat. The idea is just for sort of us to people who are playing and tuning in on Twitch, just to sort of chat through the whole game together and have fun while we're doing it. So without further ado, I just want to introduce the players playing today. We've got DanyB back again, Ryan the Man as well, who was on last week, and tuning in, I believe it's around midnight in France right now, we have BowserHugs. So thanks for joining tonight, guys, and welcome.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be back.
Awesome.
Yeah, say likewise.
And one thing I just wanted to mention to folks that are tuning in, I'm still trying to get this whole patching 3 people into a Discord call and then into Streamlabs, trying to figure all that out. So, I mean, it's all good, but if you notice levels for people that should be up or down, please let me know. I'm trying to sort of keep an eye on the levels, but also going to try playing the game too. So if you just notice someone's super loud or someone's quiet, you can't hear them, just let me know. I can sort of adjust their levels as we go. Awesome. So let's get over to the game board and we can start this up. Awesome. So Ryan, you're first up to select a faction. So why don't you break down the setup for us? Let us know what you're thinking.
All right. So first thing I'm looking at here is definitely the round scoring bonuses. So I see that in round 5 and in round 6 you have the big building 5 points. So generally maybe I'd want to select a faction that can take advantage of that. Of course you have the digs round 4. So automatically that I think is pretty good for halflings. And also you have the red bonus come up twice. So maybe a faction that would be good in that regard as well. If you can get an early priest there, you can take advantage of round 2, round 3, and round 5.
Right.
Then looking at the past tiles, I see you got shipping points, a whole bunch of gold. You got the both gold, the priest. So yeah, it's a pretty...
Any particular factions jumping out at you? What are you sort of leaning towards in this setup? This is like a normal arena game. Who would you be considering tossing in right now?
And seat number 1, I think halflings.
Yeah.
Would be pretty decent. I'll just throw them in here.
Easy. Very fun.
It was an easy pick, but
it's cool halflings because I was reading the track as well, and then so it's my turn to pick, I guess.
Yeah, go for it.
And whenever I see the late buildings, like halflings is good round 4 with digs, right? But it's also super good when you don't have dwellings in round 5 because you can actually do something else. So yeah, that's what I was also tempted by halflings, but you did the job, right? So now I gotta actually think about something. Okay. Well, most of the, there's no big building bonus style, right? So you're that more encouraged to pick a faction that doesn't rely on having their stronghold or their sanctuary early. So things like swarmlings are looking pretty grim here, as well as probably giants, and so factions like that straight off the bat, I'm not thinking about them.
Sorry, between swarmlings and what was the other faction that you sort of eliminated right away?
Giants.
Yeah.
Giants, yeah, because any faction that rely on having their stronghold is probably not going to do super well here. Having the stronghold early, I mean. So there's kind of this is a low scoring track-ish because you have repeated buildings, repeated scoring at the end, but you have the big building scoring, which is the least like it's the weakest round if you want to score
Right.
off of it, I think.
Right.
Uh, so I'm thinking about Darklings because they have inherent scoring. They kind of play nice with halflings. It's not so bad. It's not as bad as other colored neighbors matchup, and I think it's just a safe pick overall. Uh, and also, I think uh, it will encourage probably a gray faction being picked, and I'd rather have the gray faction be last in the pick order because I want them. If I were to play them, it's important for them to have a strong early passing card, right?
Right. Right. That makes sense.
Because they are most green factions are a bit fragile when it comes to passing class. Like they need power because they usually need to dig a lot, especially engineers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No,
you
that
want to
makes
make sure
sense.
you want to make sure you either you get the 3 power worker or but yeah. So I'm just gonna chuck in Darklings here, I
Okay.
think.
Darklings. We do have nerd cubes in chat. I think are saying, "Oh my god, Darklings are so good," and also suggesting digging mermaids. That's a line someone could go down.
I mean, you could play digging factions. All factions you could play them digging, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my turn to pick, and yeah, I looking at the track and the setup, mermaids was to me what stood out quite a lot because so yeah, it's the round five, round six big buildings is actually it's present, and I personally like this is these are the rounds where I actually like to build those buildings for mermaids. I look at the whole setup. I see it's a very spade-like game, so that's why I like halflings as well. I do like darklings in this regard, but I also quite like mermaids as well for this because they can access their hexes without um, requiring
That's a
like
good
all the
point.
spades in the world. The the other argument I'm going for mermaids in this game is that on the past tiles they can go for round one. They'll have like one of the two most powerful past tiles available here, which is either uh, worker power or priests, and they're happy with both of them. Either the worker power to actually try and snatch double dig um, out of halfling's hands, or just take a priest, try to put one to water if they can for great value, or if they just want to get a spade, or they can just chuck some priests, go up to three shipping, and actually score off of that for a dwelling rush round, like or at least to try and dish out most of their dwellings round two after having built a temple round one.
Right. Now, one
Which
question I
enable
have that just comes to mind quickly as you're picking a faction here, is that I've heard you like say that mermaids taking worker power might be able to snap up double dig before halflings if halflings don't also take power as their power tile. But in either case, you sort of suggested that there's have to be a bit of a double spade fight here. If mermaids were in the game, mermaids, halflings, and darklings are all factions, at least so far, that tend to want to open or tend to like having Earth One as a favor tile. Do you see in this particular setup that like between mermaids or halflings or whoever it is that it's obvious that just like the first person that's able to get the two spade action will take it? Or in other words, like would you value the two spade action in this setup over Earth One? And I ask because I mean that's something that I think about a lot is like which of the two to value. Sometimes you have an opportunity to take two spades, but it's going to come at the cost of losing a pretty strong scoring favor tile. And I know a lot of viewers are apt to have the same questions. Like, how do you evaluate that in this setup?
On this setup, I don't quite know yet, like what full faction will be, but either with mermaids or halflings, I would be quite happy to skip on Earth One, really, especially with mermaids, because like you can just take Fire One and get up your shipping and score off of that rather than just building your dwellings. Plus, you'll have like should you go for mermaids or halflings, you will try to dish out most of your dwellings round two, and you already have dwelling pass style. So you can actually try to skip on Earth 1, just develop your economy to maximize round 4, the round 4 digging event.
Right.
You can just rely on the best style instead of the Earth 1 favor. That's my thought. And the other faction I would consider here would be dwarves at side. Mostly because they can also play an interesting digging game. There is halflings in the game as well, so it's usually a good neighbor, and they can use it. Like they can use the round 5 cult reward on fire to actually amp up their worker production and use it on the last round to score a whole lot. So these are the two factions I'll be considering, but I've made quite a good arguments for mermaids, and I think they have a safer game plan starting in C3.
All right. So I have a bit of an easier choice here. I'm just going to grab a faction so we can sort of take a look at the color wheel. We have brown, black, and blue all selected in the game. Now, that's not to say that I couldn't choose 4 in a row or something like that. We do have auction for a reason. I tend to be one of those players that doesn't always like super sandwich setups. Although if I do throw in a gray faction, it's probably going to have to get bid down quite a bit. Probably. But, that's the price you pay for not being super color sandwich. What I can say about, for instance, like engineers, I think might be a consideration here. Engineers, I find, tend to really like to play with brown factions. It's often they make good neighbors in the center and on the east as well. It's usually a way to sort of get a decent amount of leech early. Like find brown and gray kind of have a similar. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same, but seem to have a bit of a similar synergy as sort of the blue and yellow kind of thing. They seem to build in similar places and can share a lot of power back and forth. What did we determine? So in terms of the pastels of iron, we don't have a big building, don't have a spade, and we're missing temp ship. So slightly more difficult to expand early. And as we've discussed, no spades. The only spade that's existing is sort of in the round 1. Which maybe whoever probably takes this priest, or if it's, I don't know, if mermaids get the priest, they might be able to get it there quick enough to actually get this spade, but I expect it's going to be quite difficult for anyone to really take advantage of that round 1 spade. So it's effectively no spades in the cult rewards and none in the track. So what does that leave us with?
Just like Darklings as well, if they decide they could put their priest to the blue track,
Oh,
so
yeah,
then
of
they could get
course.
the spade as well. So Darklings and Mermaids, they're gonna fight over probably who gets the 3 spot on the blue track, maybe.
Right. That makes sense.
Spoiler alert, it's likely Darklings.
Darklings. Yeah, it's hard to say. Like normally, I see these sort of stacked big building events, which usually speaks to sort of a bit of a lower scoring setup. Although there are 3 points past tiles in the game, and so that's important. But sort of these double stacked big buildings, which suggests lower scoring, but result, whichever is in round 5 is going to give you extra workers, does sometimes sort of speak a little bit to a dwarves game. We do see some earth coins here. Dwarves do want to get their dwellings out early, so they might be able to take advantage of round 2. The big building bonus, though, although it's not usually great for dwarves to score because they tend not to really like getting their big buildings out until late in the game, it really is nice just as an economic pastime to have those extra workers. And so the game, without that in it, the game is just slightly worker tight until sort of the end. And the fact that one of the 3 bonus tiles is the shipping one means that they can't take advantage of that at all. So it's kind of a toss up here. And with engineers, it's just kind of weird because I don't really see them scoring off the track in the last 3 rounds at all. So why don't I just pick dwarves and we'll see what happens here.
Yeah,
I think that's fair. That's
they're a very reasonable faction. They will likely get a whole lot of leech. So yeah.
And also, like dwarves, they make their points through tunneling, right? Which, for the most part, implies not digging. Right? You don't need a lot of digs, right, as dwarves. So given that the game is fate tight, I think that That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, let's just speed this up a little bit.
Yeah, it seems a bit good. Because now regarding the like pastel distribution, we can probably say that dwarves are going to get worker power, mermaids will take priests, darklings maybe call the cults and 4 gold, and probably halflings the worker power. But well, the worker,
The shipping power.
yeah,
The shipping power.
So
Just
take
for the
Yeah.
So that's an
Double
interesting thought. So given that 4 coins or 6 coins are going to be left for first seat, probably one of the two of those. As halflings, you would definitely just grab that 3 power, just to take double spade first turn. Depending on where darklings start, like if you can take it safely.
I think if I can secure the double spade as halflings, like and if I can make it efficient, like given darklings are not my double neighbor,
Right.
maybe it's worth. Yeah.
And just to flag what I mean for some folks who may be a bit newer to the game, oftentimes halflings will, and I mean, correct me with this, guys, if you see different starting spots, but E6 seems really tempting for halflings just because they're apt to get good leech, at least from engineers. It's just a solid starting spot for them, and then possibly in the east. So like, let's say halflings went E6, F5, and darklings went something like G5, E5, or something like that. If you threw 2 spades onto F3 and G4, you're leaving both of those brown. And this does happen with brown factions, right? If you end up in this situation where sometimes you can take a 2 spade, but if you were to take it, you'd be digging one of these hexes one color towards black on the color wheel. And so you can secure one of them, but you're going to leave the other one open. So correct me if I'm wrong, but the idea is like if you can take a 2 spade action in the first turn as halflings or at any point during the first round and secure safely both of those hexes, that's the play here.
Also, I'd like to point out maybe with halflings, especially with the dwarves in the game, maybe F7 would be better.
F7 for halflings. Yeah, for sure. And
also there's another danger here that that maybe mermaids start H4, right, this game, and so that's concerning a bit for dwarves.
It's really concerning.
And maybe if mermaids start H4, then maybe there's a crazy world where darklings follow them on H5. And I'm not sure how that pans out for any of these factions actually, but just a thought that I'm throwing out there.
I was thinking if mermaids start H4, why would the halflings go I8?
I think that halflings.
And if they can secure the double spade and take H5 right away, and then if they're F7, then they could go E10. And...
Yeah, but I think so if you as halflings you would place E6 first, and then you would react to H4 by I8. Is that what you're suggesting?
No, I'd place in the west first. I'd place F7 first.
Ah, okay.
And then see where everyone places their dwellings, and then if mermaids go H4, then you have the option of maybe going I8 if it.
Do you still go I8 if darklings place H5?
No.
Okay, so darklings placing H5 would kind of prevent you from doing that, right?
Yeah, possibly.
As halflings, I mean.
Yeah.
But we'll see if that is the case. But
I'm always.
I think.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm always tempted to play gray factions. Like I do like playing dwarves, but with mermaids in the game as dwarves, they're one of those factions that I'm like more and more recently on base map. I've had lots of games where mermaids have started on H4, and it just makes it a completely different game when you're playing a gray faction and blue's in the game and they're immediately messing up with those green
Yeah.
hexes, or sometimes they even dig F4 before you can get there and stuff like that. So I'm a little hesitant with dwarves here just because I don't know how mermaids are going to start out.
I think as dwarves, the most important hex this game, I don't know how connection is important this game. Maybe it is, but I think G2 is crucial for dwarves. I think most of the times, and if you get, and I think G2 is under mild threat from halflings. I think you need to get there quickly as dwarves.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So there's a lot of things to think about. I think as dwarves here, it's not as the path isn't as clear. We'll see how people decide to place their dwellings in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, halflings are likely to go next to dwarves anyway on E6 because it's quite free, and well, like we don't know necessarily whether darklings will want to go E5, so they can have it like they can have pretty much the best of both worlds here. They are likely to get like halflings are likely to get their double dig, and so they'll get their whole on F3. That's pretty much for sure. Which means they might win the race to G2 if they like should darklings win go E5, or they can just
If darklings don't go E5, then definitely halflings, since they have the last selection. E6 is obvious.
Yeah, which is why the first dwelling you're putting as halflings is really important. Like where do you place it? Like do you place it on E6 or do you place it on F5 or F7?
I think, in my opinion, I think F7 is a pretty decent starting spot. Because are you going to compete on network with halflings?
You might not, I guess. Yeah.
It depends. It's difficult to know. You have prospects to do so.
Yeah, I think there is a chance. There is a chance.
And starting on F7, just to unpack that a little bit, is like gonna make it harder for halflings to be able to connect with their other dwelling. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but I think you're better off starting on E6 as halflings here. I think it's the safest option, and then you see how people, which is the advantage of starting first seat also.
Yeah.
Right.
Plus, should you want? Sorry, let's go for it.
No, I was just saying because if you commit, like F5 is usually better than F7 because it allows for that possibility to connect. So if you you want to make sure that you have to place F7 before choosing between those two, I think.
Darklings go G5, then you sort of lose that. They could go E10 as well, Darklings.
E10 is not that bad for Darklings here, maybe because you know that you're gonna get a shit ton of leech from dwarves, right?
Yeah.
On E10, so it's always the like, do you want to block? Do you want to hinder halflings game a bit, or do you want to improve your own? I think.
But then do you use your double digs? Let's say to dig G6 if you start F7 and halfling and Darklings start E10.
Well, that's the thing. You don't want to start F7, and that's why you don't want to put F7 as your first dwelling as halflings, because you don't want to live with that choice, right? You don't want to have to do a suboptimal double dig, I think.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think here as halflings, I place on E6. If I ended up with halflings here, I think I put my first dwelling on E6, and then see where darklings place in the east and place on the other spot. Is that assuming that dwarves are F6 here, which they like 95% of games are? Then I prefer F5, but if darklings go G5, then I'm happy enough with F7. It's actually slightly better leech and whatever.
Yeah, because the main attraction of the G5 hex for black factions is that you can get access to F5, which gives you access to the south quickly. But then, given that brown are probably starting there, this comparative advantage is gone for you. So E10 is kind of equivalent, but it gives you more leech from the gray faction, right? So there's that argument to be made.
Mm-hmm. This is tricky.
One thing I do like about this game is like, how do you value Darklings comparatively to everything?
Yeah, it's tricky.
Because a bit earlier in the auction, there was the possibility of saying, like, you're asking yourself, are Darklings going to be the third EVP faction? And it always feels a bit wrong.
Yeah, it seems that whatever the setup is, you don't want Darklings. The probability of Darklings being the 30 faction is pretty low. Like,
Although I've
usually.
seen that quite a bit on Fire and Ice since we've been playing it a lot this arena. I think I've taken Darklings as the 30 faction on a couple of games.
Right. There's, I guess there's no better map for black factions than base, I think.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. But I guess mermaids have to be the 30 faction here.
I guess, but are they that bad? Like, they're not.
Because
Yeah, I guess.
Darklings are sandwiched here, so.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, but
they produce their own
Darklings
digs.
are never truly sandwiched. Darklings are never truly sandwiched. That's the thing. Like, the map configuration makes it so that brown and black usually play nice with each other most of the times, because they get each their half of the west continent, and blue is definitely out of the way of black, right? In this map, it's not that, especially with like, if it's alchemists, it's another story, because alchemists tend to ship quickly and just get all over the place. But Darklings, they stay in their lane pretty much, much more. So it's not the same level of sandwich as other color sandwiches, I think.
Someone's asking in chat if this is E5 Darklings, and I don't really know, because if someone places, I think, and I totally agree here, Nerdcube's saying that if you're Darklings, you go E6 every time, and then wait to see how the table responds before you commit to F7 or whatever your other second placement is. And I think that makes sense. So if halflings are going on E6, Darklings place second. If they go on E5, are mermaids just going to place on E4 for a neighbor in a later sanctuary town? Like, are Darklings just going to be completely sandwiched there? And I don't really know if Darklings are starting there or what their starting placement is. But if someone in chat wants to pull up Zoras's guide and let me know, that would be dope.
The problem with mermaids, if they start E4, is that they're not going to have much neighbors in the west.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to play half mermaids in that setup. I really play mermaids in that color wheel. So
is mermaids here? Are there mermaids games where you go D5 H4? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I'm not sure why. I'm not sure. I haven't thought about this mermaids pick at all. I just wanted to play in training mode. So, but I wanted to try mermaids here because I haven't tried them at all.
Spoiler alert, G6 mermaids.
G6, yeah, let's do it. Someone in chat saying that they heard it was strong, so.
It did cross my mind. It did cross my mind.
It seems like that. Where do I want to go at this point?
So Nerdcube saying in chat, you love Darklings at this price and would consider G5, H5 here. What do you think? Find it really interesting. I assume that, assuming that mermaids start on H4 as a neighbor, I presume. Someone else is saying that they like mermaids here. Only problem is early leech. And yeah, that's
they might
totally true.
Leech wise, the only certainty I have is that dwarves and halflings will likely get quite a lot of it, but there's still a bit of an interrogation mark on the head of mermaids and darklings. So I'm not sure they're gonna get invited to the pot, say. Definitely, I do like it then, because I will be absolutely assured of getting good leech throughout the game through dwarves.
Mm-hmm.
The Starklings, so I'll start there.
I don't think I'm going to do anything too creative.
Start G1, easy.
I started F1 once in a 3-player game because I was playing with like lower ranked players, but all just randomly started them in the West, and I was like, so I ended up, yeah, it went pretty terribly, but.
I actually like it. Like I had this F2 game with RDK who started like in F1 as engineers, and the color wheel was like it was like green, black, blue, and gray. And he started F1, and I really liked it. Like trying to convince alchemists like Black to start on E1 as well, and just having a mutually helpful relationship. I really like it. To be fair.
Wasn't there an F2O game where engineers placed there? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one, right?
Yeah.
That went horribly for him, though. Yeah.
Yeah, it went horrible for him because I actually started like
I
I
really-
just acted before him. But apart from
It
that,
was obvious you were. It was obvious you were taking the double dig there. I think. I don't know if he made that read or he gambled on it, but yeah.
yeah, it felt quite obvious. But I still like the proposal to Black here and he's trying to develop. Like, should like
Yeah.
in the event that he doesn't, like if he does get double, if engineers do get double, and Black comes near them because they have like all the space to play there and have an assured neighbors, it seemed like a very winning proposal for
Yeah.
Red and Black at the same time.
Like you were suggesting that Black go on E1, you follow them on the E1 square.
Like E1 F1 without yellow in the game or like any pesky blue mermaids going on D2. I think there is something to be said about it.
Yeah, because you can just engineers go up F2 and E3 and Darklings or whatever the faction goes on E2 and D2. Yeah, it makes sense. It's the same thing as in the West, the East, right? It's kind of the same structure.
Yeah. So now where the hell?
Still seems very counterintuitive to start on the very edge of a game board.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean F6 is just one off the edge, right? So
I guess. Yeah.
One thing I do like, one thing I'm pondering is do I want to go H5 or B5? I could try E5 as well. Like I have like 3 starting possibilities, starting spots. Means like, do I want to piece of like, do I want to attack halflings on blessing E5? Do I want to attack mermaids on blessing B5? So,
yeah, you can attack a lot of people.
Yeah.
If you go G5, then halflings would I8 work out or?
I8? Ooh. That's interesting.
It could. I guess you can take double dig first action and just make sure you dig the black next to mermaids.
Yeah. Then I need the 3 power.
So I think it's pretty safe that you're probably going to get that.
Yeah. Personally, I don't necessarily want to go for G5. Double E Darklings is a bit. It's like I still think dwarves are going to have a great game, so I don't really.
I mean, Bowser, if you double East Darklings might not be as bad if there's no halflings in your way, no?
Yeah, it's not that bad though.
But with Darklings G5, do halflings still follow with F5 here, or do they find something else to do?
I think they have to, but I don't know, actually.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're securing like if I go G5, halflings go F5, they could double dig Earth like as the first thing.
100%.
The first action, and they secure G4 straight up. Plus F3 they can build later. And then my Darklings are going to go, yeah, sure. I'm gonna get all the digs I ever want. Just develop on H7, going on down to I10, and just being happy with that and getting a whole lot of leech. The question becomes then, do I ever want to get a third town, and if so, where? Because it looks like it's gonna be difficult otherwise.
Yeah, this might not be a 3-town game, I think.
Yeah, not for Darklings.
No, if you get a crazy economy going, maybe there's something you can swing in the north. I don't know, but
Well, yeah, the north. That's why I'm actually pondering starting with B5 because it's still a gamble, but I do know that someone is likely to at least try to go there because I can try to get a jab at B4 and A8
Yeah.
before mermaids, and they'll have the opportunity to just go C4 and just be
I'm gonna
friends
give
with
you a
them.
neighbor as mermaids eventually there, yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
or dwarves at some
Yeah,
point.
one of the two.
But I would be losing out on a whole lot of leech early on, and I would like, so it's a bit of a
Flip a
tough
coin.
spot. Yeah,
flip a coin. Someone in chat saying H4 mermaids has to be pretty bad for gray. I think that H4 plus D5 mermaids seems tough to me the more I look at this, because if it's either of those, I'm kind of okay with it because there's still a connection option. But mermaids being on D5 and H4 means that G3 and C4 are both under threat. So connection is pretty tricky, I guess, unless I get the red D6 and want to double dig the yellow next to my center. But yeah, my connection without landscapes on, my connection here is kind of tricky or expensive, it seems.
Yeah, which is why I like most people say that mermaids, they have trouble getting leech in that setup, which is true if you place west, but maybe there's a way, which is why I figure out maybe there's a way to play mermaids in that setup where you don't get that option of lacking leech. So maybe if halflings come on I8, I actually get leech because I force people to rush building around me, or either I build around them and they expand near me. So that might be a solution. Like this H4 seems to pressure a lot of people at the same time. Like it pressures gray factions. It puts awkward pressure on brown as well.
Yeah.
And like it seems to shake up a lot of stuff. So which is why I want to try this out to see how it would go.
Yeah, it's interesting, like playing gray here with those two placements that you did as a blue faction or as mermaids, because a number of hexes that I'm interested in at some point in the game are under threat, right? Like C4, F4, G3, C3 as well. And of course, I don't really know what you're going to take, and it's a spade type game. Halfling starting in the center, I'm really interested in getting to G2 because there's extra gray hexes I can tunnel to in the southwest, of course. If you take F4, I get a nice neighbor there. I can still probably town with a bridge and stuff like that. That's all fine. But what it means is that if I want to take G2, it might be one of those situations where I have to do an early tunnel that I wouldn't normally want to do in order to take G2 from halflings. That's what that sort of looks like to me.
Yeah, but then again, if I'm overly aggressive on F4, maybe I lose C3, right? Because digs are a limited resource right now here.
C3. Yeah, no, it's true. So yeah, for sure. You and I will have to pick this, like the fighting that we do over these green hexes is going to be really interesting to see how it resolves, because yeah, there aren't a ton of spades in the game for us to just throw around. We're going to have to be selective with
exactly
how we,
and maybe
if I tunnel to
lose...
steal G3 from you, am I going to get another spade to tunnel to G2? Like, it's not one of those games that's obvious that I'm going to just be able to do those things willy-nilly. So yeah.
So the thing I'm thinking about here is that even if I do to go F5, since mermaids went H4, do I win the fight to H5, which I think is how am I building a town in the west?
Probably. I don't know, but I would. It seems now there's like so many hexes, Danny, that we're all concerned that you're gonna dig. Yeah. So you're gonna dig like one or two of them, but you're just like, I don't know.
But
which is why I love this H4 thing.
It's true. It really is disruptive.
It just puts pressure. It puts pressure on everyone, which is, pressure is more important than actually like executing the threat. I think in this game,
for sure,
it's more important to just let people know that you can do this and force them to make
suboptimal moves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you see, I just dragged halflings to me, and now I get another possibility of leech right now. So
that's very interesting. I think here I'm going worker power.
Yeah, and I think priest makes sense for me.
And I apologize. Earlier on in the stream, I mentioned that halflings would definitely get that ship pass tile, but then later I realized I'd probably go for worker power, which meant that there was a possibility mermaids would take it instead of the priest. How did you evaluate that, Danny? You could have guaranteed double dig for yourself by taking the ship pass tile.
Well, my plan is, since Darklings didn't go on E5, it means that there might be a chance for me to get enough ships, maybe to either upgrade my ships for round 2 and put some more dwellings there,
Right.
or the priest can be used as a dig in the first round. So that's how I value this option. So getting the priest either gives me the possibility to raise ships, or gives me a dig, and I don't have to sacrifice Earth One if this is the way I want to go this game. So that's how I thought about it.
So, question for all of you guys, but also I want to pose this to chat. Now that you've seen the auction, factions that have been selected, the point distribution, the starting placements, and the starting bonus tiles, who do you think's in the best position here? Before we've even started the game, who won the auction now once you reevaluate it? An immediate vote for Darklings.
I think Darklings are in a pretty good
And
spot
also, how much
here.
did I overbid Dwarves? Probably quite a bit, right? Because I always do that with gray factions.
They're fine here, actually. They really do look fine to me.
Darklings, but I also like mermaids. There's a lot of
here's
vote for
my
Darklings.
what I'm contemplating about. If I decide to upgrade right away on I8, that gives 1 leech to Danny. Then Bowser's probably gonna go E10 or G5, whichever one he wants, which is gonna give a leech to AJ, Aaron. And then where does Danny build? Does Danny build his trading post on D5, H4? Or does he put his priest?
That's a good question.
See, so maybe I can squeak out.
I think we could have a leeching pact, right? You and me, Ryan.
Yeah, but
hey, I thought everyone was giving their leech to me.
Which is why I like this setup. You know, it shifts the leech balance as well. So I think if you build I8, I'm probably estimating that Darklings and Dwarves will leech each other. I think, but maybe that's not true. Well, you just have to gamble and see, right?
So is it worth a gamble?
I think actually, if you want to secure yourself some more leech, you should build on E6. So then Gray has more incentive to build in the center, and me as well.
But then I'm giving him the double digs.
Ah, okay, that's your angle.
That's why. So if I do build I8, I can maybe get an extra leech or an extra 2 leech to like not lose 2 more power, which maybe in the later games can be useful.
Mm-hmm. I think you just have to gamble on it and see what happens.
Yeah.
Do the most unobvious thing, right? It's time for that, right?
So you want me to gamble?
Yeah.
All right.
Just go on I8 and see what happens.
We'll gamble.
We're gambling. You're gambling with your double dig.
Yeah, the thing is, Ryan said that I would actually try to upgrade, but now that he upgraded on I8s, I don't think I have any pressure on Earth 1, so I might as well just put a priest to water now that it's safe. I just can take the 3 spots, secure my spade for the next round, for the end of the round, and like everyone is going to fight and just look at each other in the eye to see who's going to get double dig. I think it's like the dancing a bit while I just overly don't quite care. So it's like, I'm just going to put the priests.
You're just going to send your priest to a cult and remove any possibility of me getting 2 spades, eh? Oh.
Yeah, so it's still a dance between halflings and...
Wow. You guys are going to be like that, eh?
And even if I don't get Earth 1, it's like not necessarily the absolute end of the world. It's not great, obviously, but it's not.
Now I just have to start off by feeding you 2 for 1, Bowser? Guess so.
Yeah,
I need
come on.
leech, but
You
Alright.
really want
Oh, you can feed me and
Yeah, you can
no.
go in the center.
Guys,
right?
you had the opportunity to be my friend, but I don't know.
So you want to be a friend to the one that you think has the best deal in the auction? That's your
No, I
reasoning?
don't. I wanted you guys to give me leech in the center. I would take double dig and leech deprive darklings. That was my number one preference.
It's all right. It's fine.
Yeah.
Do what you will.
Oh.
Do what
So-
you must.
My boy.
I mean, what else am I supposed to do? Chat, help me out. These guys aren't going to.
Here's
I had
the
no
thing,
choice
though.
but to give it to Bowser, right?
Did Bowser lose out on Earth 1, though?
Well, it's a
Are you
gamble
taking-
I'm willing to take.
Because I don't need to take Earth 1. He has to upgrade a trading post. Then I could build my temple for Earth 1, since I have temple over him in the round 1.
It's true.
Yeah, you
so
can
you
still
would
take
take
the
a
double
double
dig.
dig and
I
then
know.
decline build.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's where I fucked up. It's been
Oh,
like-
I see it now.
Everything's been fine.
Now, do you build, or
All
are you
fine.
gonna greed points here and decline build?
So,
Because if Randier's in the chat, he's gonna scold you if you decline build. I forget why that's bad. Something to do with tempo. Anyhow.
because I like having the leech as well.
And I like having that leech too. So that works out.
Yeah.
I guess that's the other thing. Yeah, you're giving. Do you give mermaids their leech now or later? Of course, NerdCube's in chat saying he actually wouldn't build here. So.
Well, tempo is it depends. Like if you want to have a long round, if you think it's valuable to have a long round, then it's valuable to stall. And if you think it's valuable to have a short round, then it's valuable to just build right away. So it just depends on what's your game plan, I think.
Basically, it's 2 points. 2 points, but you're losing tempo.
But maybe losing tempo is a good thing, which is why, like, maybe if you want to stall for, like, right now we're all holding presumably good. Say if someone is holding a good pass style that you want, and maybe you don't get to pass on it because you played too quickly, then it's worth a lot to you because you just lost the ability to get that pass style. So you just got to figure that out before deciding these types of actions, I think.
Also, Bowser, there's been a lot of chat of Water 2 Darklings in chat.
There is a possibility for Water 2 Darklings, and it's like one thing, like my plan if I don't get Earth 1 is that trying to play the role of the Gold faction. Basically trying to get the 3 spot on fire, trying to do a whole lot of things, and just trying to be the best five. I score about 22 points of gold during this game, because I don't think I can realistically fight mermaids over network, and dwarves that has no color neighbors. It seems also quite a losing prospect to try and fight them. It depends on mermaids. It just depends on mermaids outside.
Hard decision for me of how much I want this spade right now. I mean, a lot, but is there any chance I get double dig next round? Because my options are basically dig and tunnel to take something fancy, like G3, G2, C3. Then temple, then pass and not dig next round. Have a short round, temple for whatever, Earth 2, Earth 1. Pass.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know, try to pass for 2 spades. Not really sure. I mean, those red hexes aren't on a... There's not a ton of threat with those red hexes yet with halflings. So the question is, how much do I care about connection? Because G3 helps me connect. but it doesn't actually open up any additional gray hexes. So it's, whereas G2 does. Question is how important is it for me to tunnel and dig G3? I can't do that. If I'm digging, I'm just digging like F4 probably.
Yeah. I think you're better saving your power for the double dig. I think.
So, just catching up with chat, mermaids might be trying to double upgrade ship and dwelling spree. Which, Danny, I see you confirmed to the mob that's what you're doing.
I think, but sending priests is kind of tempting too. Like taking a priest right now and just populating the cults to get that cash reward in round 3 is kind of tempting as well. So I'm oscillating between that.
Right.
And that's why I just like one of the tempting things about Water 2 Darklings is that since mermaids like took Fire 1, they're just trying to start and compete on the fire track, and it just like Water 2 would actually make me more viable to get this full power reward on the next round. That's interesting, but yeah, as I said. But I don't think, like, Water 2 is fancy, I like it, I'm just a big proponent for Water 2, but I do think Earth 1 is going to score me more in this game.
Yeah, I think Water 2, it would be cool to have, like, the other water cult, right, as well.
Yeah,
like, with the other priest, like,
yeah,
it would be absolutely bonkers.
So I think I'm taking a priest right now, just because I know that I'll need to take it, regardless of the line I'm taking, and I'll decide if I want to do
figure it out later.
Yeah, the double priest thing or not. But
makes plenty of sense. Ooh.
Oh, hello.
You guys weren't being much helps, and I was being indecisive, so I just followed NerdCube's advice in the chat. Works for me. I hear he's good. So.
To be fair, that's kind of what I've like. My plan for dwarves on this early game was to basically build a temple, jump to one gray hex,
yeah,
and pass over to get for double dig. That was the line I was eyeing on this, and it seems okay. Now what?
So I think.
Unless you want to pass Bowser and take double dig from me.
Honestly, I'm tempted.
Please don't.
But it would mean I have plenty of options. I could just indeed forego this double dig, like forego my cult step, just go for double dig, because it pisses off just about everyone.
Mostly Aaron.
It pisses me off a lot, and it just uses up all your coins.
Yeah, it does. Use more.
You pass for 7 coins. It's fine, right? For the 7 coin time, it's okay.
Yeah. Here we are. Let's just talk him into it.
Second thing I could do is to burn burn some power and take a 5 power priest and send it to fire to try and secure that cult reward. On the with my call book, I can just go up to 4 on the fire track straight away.
That is an option, yeah.
It's quite a good option, and like
if you do that, I think I just go with my shipping line, shipping line instead of my sending priests.
I do think so. I do think it seems like a fairly nice prospect, and then I just see whatever people are going to do, because Halflings is likely going to pass at this point. For what, I'm not sure, but they're like I'm not quite sure. They don't have I think enough power to take any digs, so they're likely going to put a priest to Earth to get those 3 power and a fairly good.
I assume the halflings just pass for coins here.
Yeah. Passing for coins and just doing a whole
priest to Earth and then busk it from there.
Yeah, my main issue is that what are halflings going to do afterwards for the round 2? Like, are they digging? Like, what do they do? So I would be interested to see what's the plan of Ryan's plan on this.
Yeah, I think you have to also, like, if you take this priest conversion, then you're giving up 2 workers or the 7 coins, right?
I mean, Darklings almost always need an early worker action, at least one in the first 2 rounds, right? That's
though I'm not like how to say that. I'm not like I won't be able to build that much dwelling in the next round. That's the thing, and getting these full power back afterwards could help me just get more workers on further rounds. So I do. Yeah, I'm gonna just do something weird there. Getting the skulls.
All right.
fancy.
You've made a decision for me, which is good. I'm happy about that.
Right.
I was wondering what I should do, but there's still an argument for, I guess, sending a priest to.
Bowser, that priest of fire is drumming up a little controversy in chat. I gotta forewarn you. People are wondering where your essay is coming from.
I'm not building an essay. Not for now.
Uh-oh.
No, the plan is to build a second temple around 3. Ace is gonna say, like, honestly, I don't have any. Like, I do understand SA is quite good. Like, it's there was this whole discussion about Sanctuary being better than 2 temples, something. I didn't read the whole of it, but in my plan with Darklings on this game was just build a second temple around 3 just to play the track, and then build, I don't know, like a stronghold on the later rounds to just be like, just catch up on the sculpt. This is looking like a 2-town game anyway, and I don't think I need that many digs just to try and be competitive.
So I'm just passing here. I'm gonna grab 7 coins. I think I'll probably end up with 4 dwellings at the end of next round. So do I want 3 coins and 4 points, or 7 coins? And so really the difference is, do I want to trade 4 points for 4 coins? And I think early game I probably do. The other option was taking the worker, like the trading post bonus that comes with a worker and a coin. Workers are good for dwarves. I don't think it wouldn't be enough to like allow me to tunnel. So
now do I pick up your tile that you just left? I think I go for that.
Well, that or coins. 3 coins and
4 points. 3 points. At least.
3 points. I don't know.
The early power and the worker is going to translate into maybe an extra dig in round 4.
Yeah, seems fine. You do need quite a lot of power, so seems quite fine.
All right. There's no need for me to play fast. I think next round. I'll likely be happy with.
Chat. Sorry to interrupt, Danny. Chat. Now that it's been about, it's been an hour already. How are people's volumes? And I asked that for myself as well. I've got a different, obviously, audio channel than the 3 of the other guys in Discord, and I can control all their volumes. So if any of the 4 of us are up or down, or need to be up or down, let me know. keep saying volumes all seem good to you. Volume's great. Wow, surprising. Awesome, I'll take it. Thanks, guys. So here I'm going to be greedy and toss a priest to earth, and double dig will come back to me. How could that not be the case? Halflings would have to miraculously get, what, 4 power?
No, I think priest to earth is the correct
So
move. for
priest to
you.
earth is...
It is 100%.
Yep. Also, you burn less power, so that's always good.
Yeah, priest to earth, 2 spades. I think my turn is pretty straightforward.
I think I just follow that up with my priest to earth.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's shipping time.
No, I don't trust Bowser here. I have seen some games where Darklings double dig E9. And it's not very nice.
It is not very nice, though. If I really wanted to hurt you, I think I would dig like D7 or something. Because like
Yes.
I've already dug F5 for whatever reason, and digging E9 would just say, "Hey, I'm building one town there.
That's the thing.
Now
Yeah.
what? Now what?" It's like I kind of shoot myself in the foot if I did E9.
I think I did that once in a game. I didn't start double D's, but I did that once as alchemist. I think in a game, I doubled that. I doubled the E9, and I think it was pretty good because it helped me to reach B5 a bit quicker and stuff like that, and H5 as well. So, it has there are times I think where it's worth it, but yeah.
The reason this is, I mean, if this wasn't an open hand game, I would evaluate that decision honestly based on the rank on your ranking, Bowser. Like if I didn't know the player, if you were like a lower ranked player, I might be inclined to actually secure E9 this round, for sure. But it's one of those things where it's like I kind of want to be greedy and take some hexes in the center. And I'd be interested to get your guys' opinion on this, mainly just because I'd rather not give Bowser a bunch of leech, and I think that there's more apt to be upgrading happening in the center. Like I'll have more opportunities to get leech by digging next to dwellings than to like a temple. If I was like playing against like a lower ranked player that might just dig your shit away from you, even if it's not good for you, then you might just want to like secure the stuff that's around you and don't just assume that people are going to do what you think is in their best interest. But there is also something to be said for digging E9, because the next dig D7 gives you a free hex to just build on without a tunnel. But anyhow, so I just grab double dig here. I'm gonna dig here and here. I can't afford to do any tunneling. Also going to assume that halflings aren't going to triple dig my gray there, and I'm going to place here first. So I give Ryan slightly less leech, so that if you want to take a power action, you have to burn 1 extra power token. The decision there is quite a bit of minutia, but that's basically what's on my mind. If I thought you were building like a temple this turn or a trading post, I might be inclined to... Well, it doesn't really matter because E6 gets the leech either way. But if I thought for some reason you were upgrading F3, I would have built on F4. But I assume you're not like building a trading post this round. NerdCube thinks I should have dug E9. Fair enough. So it opens up D7, dig next turn, which is 2 X's for 1 dig. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, because none of your gray hexes are that much into contention. It gives me one less point of leech for not having built at 5. But yeah, it does give me 2.2 points.
Oh, that's true. That's true. By building, by digging and building on E9, I am depriving you of 1 leech.
Yeah, that's fine. You kind of have to race for all your hexes anyway.
Well, that's the thing, and I honestly don't know how to evaluate this because I'm rushing to C3, G2, G3, and E9 all at the same time, and I don't really know what to do first. Landscape dwarves, I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the landscapes, to be perfectly honest. Like, they're okay, but I'm not, like, I'm more or less indifferent to them is a better way to put it. But dwarves landscape, I really, really like, because it just provides, like, one extra bit of flexibility in games. To not have to quite worry about so many connection issues. Yeah.
So there's a chat saying that I should have taken the dwelling pastel instead of the ship. And one thing I'll say about that is I'm planning to have a long round, right, this round. So I think I'm gonna pass last probably. And the beauty of that is that next round I'm probably not gonna have a long round. So my plan was to take the ship down, so to ensure that I have it right now, and I pass last, so nobody can take it, and I can just hop on it, back on it in round 3 for the round 4. So
Right.
that was my. So if I took the dwelling, and the ship tile is worth more to me than the dwelling, so it's better for me to manage my control over that tile rather than the dwelling tile, I think. So that was which is why I didn't upgrade ships in the first round, because I want to make sure that I have a long enough round to outmaneuver everyone and then pass quickly again for it. But that was the thought process. But maybe it's wrong. But I just wanted to explain that for the people who asked why didn't I take the dwelling bonus.
Yeah, fair enough. One thing I'm realizing, and I don't know if this is great, but I could have done it, is had I dug E9 and placed a dwelling there, I've got no leech from the center this turn. Only from Darklings and from going up Earth. I would have one more power. I could actually have taken the single spade as well and dug E9 and D7. Or dug E9 and then still dug whatever other one in the center.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why I'm building on D8 rather than G6 at this moment.
Yeah.
Though there was an argument, and I think I should have actually getting G6 because it is quite a critical hex to get for me if I want to buy some magic trying to score some network points, and it actually gives you one more action so that I can secure the cold pass tile, which is the one I want.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I have to think about this, guys.
What are you pondering?
So, do I get a temple next turn? That's what the track says. But it's also a lot of coins, and it reduces worker production unless I take Earth 2. Do I take Water 1 next turn? Seems kind of expensive. Maybe I'll get some leech. In this end, like, you know.
I think you want to, like, it's tricky because if you build a temple round 3, then you probably don't have enough juice to build a stronghold and a sanctuary in the later rounds.
It's true.
So it's kind of tricky. I think it kills off a bit your economy, I think.
Yeah. I think either way, what I do here is I pass. This is obviously, as we've been talking about this, it's a spade type game. So I'll take power, which is the next closest thing I can get from the pass. I mean, 2 coins in a worker, it's decent. 4 coins in a cult step,
You could always do a Bizzle move and take the TP pastel and just build all your TPs.
Yeah, I could. I sure could. But I think I will pass on that, personally.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the power and see what spades I can take next turn.
But yeah, that's the thing. You don't have that many concurrents. I don't remember whether this is an English word.
Dwellings?
Like no one's fighting you for spades.
Competition.
Oh,
Yeah, competition. You don't have that many competitions for spades yourself. Like halflings don't have that many power. Mermaids.
Yeah.
Like no one's generating like loads of power in this game anyway. So you're going up to 10 power in ball 2. If you get just 2 power, you'll get a double dig.
yeah.
So it's like, and you're likely the only one who can do that for the whole round 3. So you're pretty golden. It's pretty good. Unless you want to. Yeah, but
chat or other players, do you think it's worth for me to convert a power to a coin and a priest to a worker and get another dwelling, or send the priest to cult or earth rather, just to get 2 or 4 coins actually?
So you can convert a priest into a worker
and
to get a worker back next turn and 2 points.
To build a dwelling this round, right? I can, if I burn the power and then
I see. Burn a power and convert a priest to a worker.
And then I can build on D2. But I think it's a bit too expensive. So
it's like you're losing. What do you lose out on? Maybe like a worker and a
worker and 2 points.
And like 2 points.
So you're converting a priest to 2 workers and 2 points. I mean, there's coins in there as well, but yeah.
Or a priest to 4 coins, right?
A priest to 4 coins, yeah. And question mark points on the cult, and question mark power on the cult. Where would you send the priest?
Probably Earth, I guess, to maximize the coins.
Oh, to maximize the coins as opposed to converting it to a worker much later and a power and 2 coins on fire.
Yeah, I like the priest to Earth here because you will need some coins. Like you always need more coins. That's the thing with Terra Mystica. And like you developed quite a lot in the west where you will have little neighbors.
Yeah, which is maybe I have better incentive to save my dwellings for places where I want to.
Yeah, you're not missing out on much in not building another dwelling. But 4 coins is just 4 coins.
I think I'll try to. Usually I would be the type to convert and just build another dwelling, but I'm trying different stuff here. So let's see.
4 coins is good.
Everyone in chat saying that's a pretty close call.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
DanyB casually cruising at 53 points, 20 points over the head of everyone.
Oh yeah, points. That's honestly the first I've actually bothered to look at that. I suppose I should keep an eye on those.
I think here now, this round I'll just upgrade digging.
I think I'm just passing straight away for the ship and just maybe upgrading digs. Like maybe Nerdcube called it, but maybe it is digging mermaids after all.
Digging mermaid.
I think what I do here is I go priest to earth as opposed to fire. I'd love to push some priests to fire, but if I go priest to earth here and then just take 2 spades again, tunnel, I don't know, that doesn't seem terrible.
Well, one thing for sure is that, as I said, my plan is to upgrade for another temple this round, so you will get power, that's for sure.
Right.
Oh, I freaking wanted this spot. But hey.
I'm also notorious for like leaving cults open. Like I like to get a priest to an early cult spot, get some economy, but I always forget to like come back to them and make sure I'm trying to get points. So this is me also trying to like remember prioritizing cult is also a scoring thing and not just a way to get coins. Yeah, I suck at fighting cults. Very lazy cult player. Most of the time, if I win a cult, it's because no one actually bothered to take a 10 spot. I don't know why. really, it's one thing I find in games that I'm like not very good at is cult scoring. But anyhow.
Is there a reason for me to do any action this round? Probably is.
Well, you can. There's very little pressure on this pastile for now.
Yeah, everybody has stuff to do, right?
Yeah, everyone has stuff to do. You can at least build one dwelling on D2.
Yeah, I think that's what I'll do.
Very least thing you can do.
So you're just smashing past tiles for points, hey Danny?
That was the plan with mermaids, I think.
Yeah.
There
Right.
was no really other plan in that game, I think, for mermaids.
So no one's close to getting the double dig. I can take the spades now. Or, I assume what's happening here is that Darklings are building another temple, because it's a temple round, and why would you leave a trading post up? And if I'm probably going to go 2 spades in a tunnel, then maybe I just do the tunnel now, and do the 2 spades next turn. Oh, wait, but halflings have upgraded digs, and they have 5 workers, and I really want G2. Yep, there we go.
Yeah.
Alright, so I take 2 spades. Good talk, Aaron, good talk. I take G2 and I need to secure it, which means I can't tunnel with my other spade. So that leaves me with E9 or C3. Darklings have 1 priest and probably won't mess up E9. Could also take C3, but
I am never taking E9.
I think if you dig G2 and leave it open, I don't think Ryan will triple dig that. I think he has enough.
I
with
think
E5. Yeah, he can just take
E5,
E5.
I7 were my
fair enough.
initial digs, and then just saving my workers for next round. So if you don't build it this round, of course I'm taking it.
Yeah, I think what I do is I limit, I mean, that's fair. I think I limit the things that I know that you're going to do, and I think I build here, probably.
Yeah.
I think that's normally safer. That's one thing about these open table, these open conversation games, I'm never quite sure. You just told me you weren't going to dig G2, but I still think that was the correct move. So, I don't know.
If you didn't dig it right away, I wasn't going to take it.
Oh, you weren't even
I would
going
have
to...
taken it for 2 workers.
You wouldn't have taken it for 2 workers. Okay.
I'm a head out.
Mermaid's out.
I mean, there's no reason for me to stay in this round. I think longer. Maybe I could send another priest to the cults, get more coins, but
Who cares about coins?
Because I still have that digging line in my head, but it's probably not gonna manifest itself.
Can't tell if I'm regretting having done these digs. I mean, the thing is, I have to give people power at one point. I delayed giving Bowser power, and now that you've done with all of your upgrading, I just give you 4 power, and you're never going to give me anything in return. So, like, why did I do that? I don't know.
Fine.
Anyhow.
But look at it this other way. You're getting plenty of leech from halflings eventually. Right?
Eventually, yeah, it's true. It's true. Is there anything else I want to do before this? Do I want to give you the coins action right now? Maybe I tunnel first?
Well, I'll get the coin action regardless. I have a cult bump. I can just get
Yeah.
Of power. I'll get you like.
Where else
Join
do
the
I
dark
want?
side.
Join the dark side.
2,
You have
3.
cookies.
The other option. Any chance Darklings want or Halflings want coins? Halflings might want coins. Oh no, Darklings get coin. Darklings go first anyhow. All right. Sorry, I was trying to be tricky and see if I could give the 7 coin action to Halflings here. But I misread the player order. All right. Anyhow, I assume my clock's running down at this point, so I'll just give you all the power you want. There's definitely probably a tunnel I should have done there first or something.
Friend.
You're welcome. Thanks for all the 2-for-1s.
No worries. Do I want to just up to Earth before I take the coins? I think so.
All right, chat. Whose position do you like now? We're partway through round 3. So closing in toward the end of round 3. Who do you feel is in the best position here? Okay, I'm getting some love for the dwarves position. Whoa. Dwarves equal mermaids greater than halflings equal darklings. Did you guys get that math equation in your head? It's easier if you read it. Dwarves and mermaids tied better than halflings and darklings, which are tied.
It's funny because Eric thought that darklings were the best deal in auction. So it's cool that the evaluation has changed now.
I think it was the priest to fire he didn't like.
I think he didn't like that.
Yeah, understandably. I still quite like it, because I'm gonna get like a whole ton of leech. Well, like a whole ton of points on cults. Given... I'd say, like, halflings are likely to be the no-point faction on network. So I think it's between either me or halflings. So I might just get some cheap 6 points.
Mm-hmm.
And just get a whole lot of it. I like dwarves' position, though. They might, like, they can jump about. That's for sure. They will dish out a whole lot of points. Though I
haven't prioritized connection yet. I've prioritized teeing up all of my tunnels. So I still don't have connection in the bag. I've done nothing to prevent mermaids from being able to tank my connection, but I have 6 places to tunnel to.
And I have a whole bunch of digs to do.
You do.
Yeah.
You have a lot of digs to do.
I think
with no shipping, which helps a little bit, but you know.
What I like about the priest to fire from darklings is that, like, I think it discourages me from fighting on cults, because maybe if you didn't do that, maybe I would have played a very different game where I put my 2 priests in the cults in the first round, and maybe that's worse for me. Maybe that's better. I don't know.
I'm very much sure it would have been worse for me if you started to fight no cults, like 100%. It's just
yeah. Ooh, 1 worker for 3 coins. That's a good pastime, and some VP on that.
Yeah, the dwelling bonus would have been better. I could have further built out my worker economy, and well, no, Bowser, you probably you would have taken that dwelling bonus if I was still in the round now.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so I would have never gotten. I mean, that would have been preferred, but having tempo on halflings here, I think halflings don't have any shipping, right? So I'm safe-ish. I9 is under threat. They can upgrade shipping pretty quickly and get to 2 hexes. So if they really want to mess with me, like I feel like having at least 1 turn ahead on them is not terrible. I mean, it's not obvious that halflings just want to mess with my game and maybe you want leech and stuff, but I'm at least trying to prepare for that idea of, like, maybe first action is me securing I9. If I see halflings increase ship, then, like, at least I can jump to G1 over C2. Mm-hmm. I just value G1 because it gives me another gray. Something like that.
Saving yourself 2 points with the priest.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the plan was to build a whole lot. I was never going to get the coins back on this turn, and just getting those, like, I was producing 4 workers, so I could build 4 dwellings maximum, and just banking on that, like, I produced 4 workers, I produced 4 priests.
Yeah, it's pretty laid out. Yeah. Yeah, your plan is pretty clearly cut.
Yeah.
I never know when to be paranoid of players or not.
That's interesting. Do I increase shipping here?
Do you want to go for another town? I think that's the
Yeah.
question.
Because the thing is, like, yeah, I think it's the best move. 2 towns. I definitely need 2 towns, and
Where's
I
the cheapest place for you? Like 1 shipping and then like D3 B2. Get you to some cheap hexes A5 B3. Otherwise, you could like triple dig C3 as one.
It's G1 or C2, and then I'll need a bridge.
Oh, for those, of course, because you don't want to build a second temple. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I could always have the power for later on to take the bridge, and then I'll have 2 more rounds as well. So I think increasing shipping.
Well, instead of increasing shipping, why not take a bridge and just dig?
Because if I take the bridge right away, then
he can tunnel.
Then I can tunnel to it, and then if he increases shipping, then I can take both. He needs to increase shipping, and then I take one of those 2 gray hexes, whichever I value more.
Yeah.
I think that's correct. Sorry, trying to catch up with chat here. Someone's still questioning my connection. Yes, my connection is questionable.
Yeah. Maybe I should have just single dug G3. Just to make it a little bit harder for both. Oh, never mind. Definitely G3.
Bowser, I'm surprised at the G6. I thought.
No, it means he's going to. Well, I take this as that you're going to triple dig D7, I guess.
Maybe. But I think he wants to place 4 dwellings, Bowser. If I'm not.
Yeah. I just want to place 4 dwellings. My plan here is to just build up my economy because I haven't been able to do so. I will produce like all the coins I can ever need, like on this round plus on the past tiles. So I need my workers. And if I want to build a sanctuary and a stronghold in round 5 and 6, so I'll need all the workers I can muster. And just triple digging one red hex to like hinder you a little bit doesn't seem worthwhile. And securing G6 seems just very good for connecting afterwards, because it makes it quite costly for you to just dig F7 just to hurt me. So I'm never taking that D7.
Yeah, but I think G6 forces you to like build a sanctuary, no, before you get your 2 towns. Which is why I thought you were going to do E11, F7, H7, and I10. I think.
Well, the plan is to build a sanctuary and stronghold up on E10 and D8. And
okay, so you were planning on the sanctuary this game. Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, there was a stronghold possibility.
Even that late?
Yeah, I could. I mean, it might not be that great though.
It just seems like not very good points conversion. There's no big building past house here. What are we just converting 4 workers and 10 points into 5 points? It seems like an expensive point conversion.
It's an expensive point conversion, but it's like 14 for 5. So yeah, it's roughly like it's 14 resources for 5 points.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like roughly the standard ratio. Plus it gives me what a 1 or a 1, and I can just puts value to all the trading posts I'm going to build afterwards.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Also, I like digging, upgrading my digs instead of my ships this round. It gives me the other benefit of playing a super long round while I'm holding the pasta that I want to hop on afterwards on it.
Yep.
And so now I can just super slow play this and stall out everyone, and then again pass quickly next round 6 for the ship tile again.
Did you do that just for NerdCube? I think he was the one who requested digging mermaids.
I mean, I did. Like, it was kind of an inception thing. Like, it did cross my mind at the beginning of the game, but I think now the opportunity just presented itself. Yeah, the only thing is towns. Towns are going to be a bit weird. But who needs towns? Am I right?
No one.
You know me.
No one.
You know how I feel about towns. So I have to admit, so I'm very happy that Bowser's obviously not trashing D7. If I didn't have a TP pass tile in some games, because I do value towns, obviously, to some degree. It's a bit of a joke that I don't, but I would honestly be tempted to have hard dug D7. The moment I saw you build on G6, I would normally interpret that move, because it just makes it hard for you to build a town on E10, D8, E11. Yes, it's 3 structures, but you're only going to get adjacency on one of them. So you need Fire 2 at the Sanctuary. I wasn't assuming you'd build a Sanctuary still this game. So all of those things together, I mean, Darklings often do build put a spade onto G6 just to turn it black, and then they like decline build. That way they're sure that dwarves or whatever great faction isn't going to build through there, so you can secure your connection. But it actually building on G6 to me was a bit of a surprise. That most of the time would suggest that you're actually going to try to dig D7. And the fact that I had no power, right, that would be the normal read. It's like, okay, the Darklings player here wants to do 2 4-structure towns. They see I have no power. They've got 4 priests. It's a digging round. They're going to triple dig D7. So had I had the power or didn't have plans to build trading posts to score this turn, I would have been very tempted to to like hard dig D7 or something, which feels really awful as dwarves. But anyhow, I'm leaving it open because halflings are doing all kinds of stuff. And now mermaids are up with upgraded digs and so much shipping. You can literally dig anything on the board pretty much you want. That's so terrifying. Whoa.
Yeah.
I expected that.
Spicy.
He took my easy connection with, but he can always dig it back easily.
Yeah, you could just build on it.
Ah.
It's on me. You can have a spade now, Weber.
Pardon?
You can have action 5 now, Weber. Like with it.
I don't want action 5.
You can take this. You now have enough power in your belt to just burn down to 4.
It's not happening. I think this turn I'm sending a priest to fire so I can convert it to a worker. I'm gonna hope someone gets me some more leech so I can build another trading post and found a town. And take a cult town.
You can always burn 2 power to build a town.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I would be tempted to do. If I had a way to get power from cults, I'd be tempted to do that, but I don't. They're all the same. So priest of fire converts it to a worker. That's mainly like an opportunity to delay. And I'm also, well, I guess Bowser could be. Bowser's have to finish this round pretty soon. So I think instead of me delaying to see if I will get any more leech, which...
I'm just gonna respond to Gray quickly on the chat.
Yeah.
Because he asked me if mermaids surely take G3. I think that's a mistake. Because now Ryan just threw his chances at outslowing me. Right. My whole game is passing last while I'm holding the ship tile to make sure that I can hop back on it because it's so much points for me. And so since Ryan just triple dig with 1 action, now I actually have more workers than him. So there's the possibility of me stalling him because before he had 7 workers and he could have outstalled me. And so I don't want to rush this G3 building because that means that I will fall behind in the actions. So that's my reasoning.
I could always take the bridge action.
That's true. You have enough power. I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I would like to thank Weber for removing me of the burden of thinking whether I want this to keep down.
Yeah, it always feels strange for me taking 2 keys when it's just bringing me from 0 to 2 on a bunch of cults. But I'm trying not to look at it like that. I'm trying to look at it in like the places. Like it basically jumps me up to second, and tied for second on 3 cults, right? So like if we were all doing a lot better, it would make a lot more sense. It looks funny because I just went from 0 to 2 on 3 cults. Hard to get any power. I'll get a worker for it. I get 2 coins at the end of this round, some power and stuff. Like it doesn't look great, but there's just like has been so little activity on any of the other 3 cults that I'm hoping for a couple of cheap second places, which is my preferred way of fighting cults is like cheap second places. We'll see though.
Yeah, that seems pretty good.
And now I'm just gonna pass as soon as I can get. Well, we'll see if I manage to be able to get the dwelling bonus. I take that, which it looks like I can get. So I pass now for that, and I jam 2 priests to fire next turn and do stuff. I hate trading posts. I'm gonna score off them this round and get them out of the way because I need more structures. But where are all my workers? I just spent 6 workers to remove 2 worker production. That's awful. While I have a completed Earth cult, so I don't need coins. This can't be very good. But anyhow,
I mean that upgrade your digs then.
upgrade my digs.
That's the plan.
Is it? For me?
I don't know.
I don't know. I think at this point, priests to cult actually look pretty good. 2 priests to fire next round looks pretty good. I'm getting 4 power. Yeah. Do I want to convert? Who's still in the round? I don't know if people are upgrading next to me. I'll just decline your power. I have no idea. I'm done with this round. So about that connection, see how I'll continue to do this as dwarves, prioritize everything else under the sun, and not figure out a way to connect.
So now, Ryan, you have.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of what to do.
I think you cannot out-tell me even if you take your bridge, because we both have the same number of actions left, but I play before
First.
you. I play first.
So you'll have 4, and then I'll take 1.
So right now you'll have 3 right now because
I can always take the priest.
Yeah, but and send it to a cult. I think that's your only way of out-stalling me. Yeah.
But what does it give me?
But do you want to do that? That's the thing.
I don't think I want to do that.
Yeah.
You don't have that many coin productions. You likely won't do 7 coins, I guess. So more than what?
Coins, I'll be wanting the coins next round.
Yeah, and I think you have a good shot at getting the coins since
Yeah.
Aaron, even if he can take them, I don't think Aaron will take them and
Take what?
I think Dark Peaks can the coins.
Yeah.
The coins action.
No, I mean I need spades if I want to connect and like workers. Like I'm either digging stuff that's adjacent to me or I'm tunneling to other stuff. So I need either spades or workers. I have 19 coins coming in. So I mean maybe in some crazy world I like know it's gonna hurt you, so I take coins, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Danny, why did you
I'm
dig
just thinking why
I5
did-
to gray? Are you inviting me there for some reason, or are you just
No,
taunting me?
no,
You're just gonna
I'm
dig it away now.
I'm just getting it down there, I think. I'm doing it for myself.
Okay, I thought this was some weird thing where you were like bringing your dwarf friends over for adjacency or something, but no, it doesn't.
No,
make
I
sense.
think it's efficient to dig that hex for a town, given that I have dwellings on I4 and I6.
And you're just digging it one hex at a time because
To slow play it.
to slow play it. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. I think it's a cool mermaid town. I don't think I've ever done this one before, so that also has value, especially in a context like this one.
So this may sound like a really dumb question. Well, it is dumb, but can someone explain to me how the new mermaids town key situation works? They made an
The landscape, you mean?
It's the
Or-
landscape. Yeah, they updated the landscape. Yeah. How?
Yeah, it does. It doesn't. It counts as one power towards your town, but it doesn't count as an extra space. So you don't get. So, for example, the town on E4, F2, and H2, even if you put a landscape there, you still need a bridge to connect, because it doesn't count as.
I see. It
as
doesn't
an
provide
extra
any
physical
adjacency.
space.
It's okay.
No, exactly.
So it's adjacent to the hexes that it's touching itself, but it doesn't connect the two hexes between it.
Exactly.
Okay. But they haven't changed it. There's no rule change around town key stuff and how you place those.
Yeah.
Okay. I was playing a game
It's a
with a
digging
buddy of
thing.
mine, and he was like getting all ready to found a town, and then it like wouldn't work, and it like completely wrecked his game.
Yeah, it does count. It does count as a structure, so you can build an SA town with two
Right.
structures, I think, and the landscape.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Note from Ranier says basically, in my opinion, the easiest way to understand it is that the town tile has to go on the landscape tile. Yeah, that's helpful. Landscape's got to be the same tile as the town tile. That's probably the shortest explanation. So yep, same explanation. I think super. Getting a lot of people responding with that same way of looking at it. So okay. Cool.
Where do I want to dig? Where do I want to dig?
Everywhere.
I'm just thinking about my towns, and is there a world where I have 3 towns? But I don't think that's possible. So
Not seeing 3 towns. No.
no, I'm not
That's
seeing
tough.
3 towns here. So I'm having this crazy thought.
I'm
of
sure someone in
just
chat
digging-
is dreaming of 4 towns, but
I'm having this thought of digging E3 and doing a town on A4, C1, D2, E3, and E4, since I already have 3 structures there.
So,
I think that's kind of efficient, but
yeah, it's okay. I mean, how things are likely to go down to B2 at some point. You have 2 neighbors on E4 and A4.
exactly, which is more than enough. I think it's perfect for 2 TPs and 3 dwellings. So I think I'll try that. The only danger is that, well, I don't think dwarves want to mess with that hex anyway. So
With
even
what-
if I
what
just turn
hex?
it to E3,
E3. Oh god,
Yeah.
no! I can't afford to be. No. I mean, I'll tunnel there if you leave it gray, but I assume you're gonna dig that.
no, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not leaving in gray. That's
Again, I'm just looking for
that's the thing.
contributions.
But yeah, I guess Dwarfs is already quite busy trying to secure connection through C4 or C3.
I'm trying to secure connection around without a landscape around digging mermaids, which I don't think I've ever had to do before. I mean, there is a way I do it. No, not really. I mean, ugh. No, because you can
Triple
always
G3.
just. I need 2
Need
hexes.
stuff.
I need C3 and C4. The moment I take one, you just take the other.
You can.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If I have the leisure to do that, which maybe I have other stuff to do, but
Maybe,
if I
but
feel that you're a threat to
wouldn't
me,
you just contribute one worker is pretty much gonna, you know,
yeah,
that's at least gonna slow me down a lot, right? You and I trade like me trading 3 workers for your 1 worker. That's
yeah.
someone saying mermaids can probably just inform you that you cannot connect. Yeah, that's reasonable.
So I guess I just take the trading pastime, the TP trading post pastime. I think that's
I was thinking about taking that, but then it doesn't ensure me the coins. Yeah. I think I'll need coins.
We all need coins. So much. So many of them.
Yeah.
Because if you want to compete on network, then you'll have to build a whole bunch of trading posts, and then you have to build your even more dwellings. So you'll need all the coins you can for that.
Interesting thing here. Is anyone like wanting like? Is there going to be a water 1 rush here in this game?
I do.
I mean, I have 3 trading posts built, so water 1 isn't particularly interesting.
I think you should still take water 1, Ryan, because you can
Yeah.
still take the coins after you build your sanctuary.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's not
So
going to be like
there's no reason for you not to get water 1 here.
Unless someone gives Bowser leech. But will he take the leech?
True.
Hmm.
yeah. Do I want to take those 5 for 4 or something?
Yeah, or 4 for 3.
4 for 3, I'm okay with this. Yeah,
Yeah.
5 for 4
But I
starts
think
to be a bit.
I think Aaron doesn't want water 1. Do you want water 1, Aaron?
Well,
No.
I think air 1 would be better.
Air one's better if it was there.
No, I want to dig stuff and tunnel.
That as well.
Water
so
one
I
is
think
not
there's
really
no
on my
pressure
radar.
on water 1.
I mean, I
Yeah,
guess it's
exactly.
2 workers. I have lots of coins. I could. Maybe I should be fighting for it. I don't know. It seems.
I think air 1 could be. If you build another trading post this round, then you have all 4 trading posts out. You get 4 points, 4 points, which is 8.
Yeah, and even if you don't build your
Yeah.
post. Yeah, I think Air 1 for you is much better.
The thing that's on my mind right now is 2 spades. The 2 spade action has come around to me. And you left E3 green.
Sure.
Oh boy.
So that's a place I can tunnel to and then tunnel to F1. So I could dig E3. I could dig D7 and C3 and then have you cut off my connection at C4. It seems fun.
Why not? Why not? Let's say D7, D6.
That's possible as well.
Yeah, I mean, D6 doesn't have much. I mean, I guess D6 leaves E8 open for me later to connect.
Yeah.
I mean,
At least, yeah.
and it won't be taken by halflings for some reason. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to evaluate whether I should be taking the. I mean, I definitely want to dig D7. I need a town. Of course, I'm digging D7. The question is like, what do I do with a second spade? Probably getting 4 more dwellings out, maybe 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. It's Darkling's power at. Oh, just keep feeding Bowser more power. It's obnoxious.
Yes, please.
How many priests do you have? You have 2.
Again, I'm not digging D7.
Yeah, right.
I am hopefully not interested in that. Like ever.
I think I always feel guilty making decisions, wondering if I'm doing them because you just told me what you're doing. I think it still is worth risking it so that I tunnel here. It might be a crazy pipe dream, but tunneling here.
It seems okay to secure your connection through D6, to be fair.
Yeah, through, like,
Especially, I'm not digging D7, especially since you can just take a bridge action.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It
But
still
in
gives me a
actually
backup on my
96,
town.
Yeah, you still have a town. It's just it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Okay, so now that I've done all that, I'm interested in what chat's saying. D6, E8.
Back off my aircraft, you. Please.
Someone's saying D8 and D6 and E8 is costly but works too for connection. Yep, definitely good to have that option open if connection seems worthwhile. Someone's saying might as well just take G3 then, same number of digs. Yeah, it's true. I actually was looking at that, but I don't know. It would involve basically 6 power, 6 workers, and 2 coins to place a dwelling on G3. Like, that was the other option. I actually could have just secured connection. Literally last turn. And I don't know if that's worth it. Probably. I don't know. Someone tell me. I mean, I didn't do it, but like I literally could have just gone 2 spades, hard dug G3, 2 workers for a tunnel, 1 for a dwelling. It would have been 6 workers, 2 coins, and 6 power, and then connected that way.
Oh, do you like 12 points?
Pardon?
Do you like the prospect of scoring 12 points while removing some to others?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, probably securing G3 was probably okay, but yeah, very expensive. It's tough call.
Yeah. Someone says it also means I can't air 1 this turn. Yes, I'm also delaying, leaving D7 open. So, I mean, Bowser was very friendly to me this game, but, you know, that could have easily cost me a town at some point or made towning very expensive with a bridge and other digs. Yeah, I don't know. So, yes. So I think... Oh, I sort of messed this up a little bit. Well, no, I didn't. I should have secured D7. I'm kind of short on workers for Sanctuary, so I think what I'm going to do is convert a priest to a worker, as opposed to sending 2 priests to fire. That way I can get a Sanctuary out this turn.
Sanctuary for Air 1 seems okay.
So why am I delaying that decision? There's no real reason. There's some leech for you.
Do I?
5 for 4?
That is a steep cost.
It is
It's big leech.
I do think it is still quite good. It's all the coins I will ever need. Because now I'm going to start to get, I will start to get a bit tight on coins. But yeah.
Are you strongholding? No, but you're not strongholding this round, right? It's probably the next round. Yeah.
Not this round. No, it's definitely not this round. I don't have the workers for it.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Sense. Okay, give it to me. It hurts so good.
My mind is telling me no, but my body is telling me yes. That type of situation.
Pretty much. Because the thing is, I do start to have a bit of competition on cults, and I'm losing 4 points, but at some point I can just, if I'm taking enough economy, I can just build a temple to just say, back off my cults, I want them.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 points is still quite an okay cost to cut.
Yeah, with all these dig upgrades, and everyone only really having a single temple, I mean, other than you, Bowser, you obviously have 3 priest production. But the rest of us have only had a single priest production all game. And I've used 1 for a worker, and Danny and Ryan have both used 2 priests each for digs, not to mention shipping. So You're doing pretty good on the cults for just hanging on to a 5 spot. And I wasn't really counting workers very well. I probably should have. Yeah, I'm only getting a single priest to a cult, so. And then I have one more next turn. Yeah.
Yeah. Am I too paranoid if I pass right now for my ship down?
Are you what?
Am I too paranoid if I pass right now for the ship tile instead of like building another trading post? I think it's too important for me to miss. So.
Who do you think would take it here?
Halflings, maybe. Halflings, they can still do their sanctuary next round. I think they need 3 ships to connect, so I think they have an incentive to actually go to 3 ships and take it.
Yeah, they're gonna do.
Which is he's not forced to do his sanctuary right now. I mean, I think his plan is just to fill out his dwellings and maybe do his TPs next round with Water 1 with his sanctuary next round. So I think I'm gonna pass right now. Yeah. Also, it secures me the coin action, which is
that's a good one.
Which is pretty okay. So yeah, I think I'm playing it safe. Yeah, losing I5 would be bad, but I don't think anyone is in the. Like, if I see that as a threat, I can just build on it next round. Right.
Right.
No one is at 2 ships, and dwarves don't have enough to turn. Yeah.
For me here, as much as I'd like to get a priest to fire, I just can't pass up taking a worker and a points pass tile. There's only one option for me to get a points pass tile in the last round, and I'm getting the one that has a worker on it. So it seems bad for me not just to pass and take it. So I did really good on the fire cult after all that talk.
And I'm grateful to you for it.
I'm sure.
So yeah, I guess he would have passed for that for that shipping pastel, Danny.
Yeah, I think that was a good read on my behalf.
Yep. And now I'm left with just about bugger all. Ain't life neat. So what do I actually want to do here?
Whenever I hesitate on passing for these points as mermaids, I ask myself this simple question: do I want 15 points?
Right.
And usually the answer is pretty
yes.
It's pretty straightforward.
Do you want to gamble 2 points for 15? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. No.
All right, so how are you guys feeling about your positions and who you think's in the lead? Who's losing?
Merms.
I'm feeling okay about my game. I think it's pretty good. But
I'm not sure in favor. Like, scoring favors off of chumps.
I have Water 1. Sorry, I'm slightly a bit of a chump.
Yeah, I didn't see that. Boo.
Should have taken Water 2.
Can we agree that scoring favors aren't actually for chumps?
Yeah, I guess we can.
Just doing some math here, just making sure about what I need to do. Next
this Water 1 will net me maybe 9 points, 12 at the most. So it's not that significant.
Yep.
Which maybe taking it was wrong, but I don't think it was actually. When I think about it. I think actually, if I was, maybe another option this round would have been to skip the sanctuary and just build 2 more TPs, like instead of the sanctuary. and but this would mean that I would have a longer round, so I wouldn't pass on the ship tile probably, which is why I didn't go for that. Okay.
Someone in the chat saying they don't understand the I-11 play, Bowser.
Oh, it's just to score a bit. Like I'm passing anyway. Well, like everyone's passed, so I just dish out some more dwellings, and especially use my priests. Well, first of all to score points, and to make sure I don't overflow on priest production next turn. But
Right.
I could definitely, should have sent. Yeah, I overlooked the fact that I could have sent one to air, for example.
Right.
But at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna lose some points of cult because everyone is intent on fighting me for it. So I might as well just say, okay, I'm fairly confident I'm getting fire, second place on earth, possibly first on water if no one messes too much with me. No, that's just air. And as I said, I can just build a temple if I ever need to. So
right.
I just need workers in this particular setup. So yeah, just building dwellings as much as I can, and it allows me also to just build all my dwellings this turn. And you're gonna put something like 12 structures, which might be enough to score me 6 points on network.
Right.
Probably 12.
Probably 12.
I won't have a super good network here.
I don't think either I'm gonna even try to connect because I have to upgrade shipping twice, and I already put my priest to air, and
yeah, I think connecting is clunky for you. Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna forego connections. So.
The one thing I missed out, I don't know whether yes, I did have a whole lot of power to do. So one thing I did miss out in the last round was I could have used a bridge to B6 and dig that, building a dwelling to make sure I could actually score the 8 VP down, the second 8 VP down, and because I took a risk. That's a line I didn't see, and I probably should have, because I definitely want this 8 VP down for obvious reasons.
But speaking of this, is it worth for me to take it right now, this 8 VP town?
Only if you want to deny it to me. You score 1. It gives you 1.
It gives me nothing, like, because I'm pretty sure on water I'm not going to be able to. Well, maybe I can. Huh.
You can come at me, bro.
No, maybe I can just do a second place. I mean, secure my
second place. Tie me on fire. It depends on what you're playing on. Oh yeah, you have 2 priests, and both of them are going to shipping. So
maybe only one because I'm getting the stronghold, probably.
Oh, okay, so you still do have a priest to play with, which you can send to water or fire if you really want to fight me on fire.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I send one to fire and you still get sort of third place.
I think a priest is just as good for me to fight on the cults than the 8 VP town in that scenario.
Maybe,
so
yeah.
I think I'm just taking the priest.
Yeah. I mean, if you think I'm your biggest competitor, which I might think I am, I'm not sure. Then it's likely that it could actually be nice, like good for you.
True.
Because you deny me 8 points of power. Like that's huge.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, that's a big town for you. That's true. I didn't see all the power that you were getting from it. That's fair enough.
I think I'll decline that though.
Yeah, you don't want another 5 for 4?
Well, yet again, I would be tempted, but I'm not quite sure I'll have I'll need everything, because it doesn't. I'm getting 8 power this turn regardless, so it's fine. I don't need that much
Yeah, it's a lot of power.
It is a lot of power. Thanks. Doing conversions. Sorry, just doing a bit of math here, just to make sure.
Hmm.
I'll be right back. 2 seconds.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Sure, sound good.
Yeah, it's tricky. I'm also trying to figure out what the rest of my game looks like. I mean, obviously I have a town I can found. Assuming I get the power, there's actually a possibility of me digging E8 and connecting, which I think is worth a good bit. The problem with that is it seems kind of weird, but like that would be both of my dwellings, and so I wouldn't have any dwellings left for any tunnels, and so I'd literally be leaving 2 free gray hexes on the board. So then the question is it worthwhile building a temple and a trading post just to be able to tunnel again, and do I have enough stuff for that? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Or a stronghold?
Mm.
Like a stronghold's expensive if it's really just giving me 1 extra dwelling. Because I don't have water
It's
1,
still
right?
5
So
points.
building trading posts just to get another... That is one of the problems of not having water 1, is like building a temple or a trading post just to get another... Sorry, building a temple or a stronghold just to give you another trading post, to give you another dwelling so that you can tunnel. And you're not getting another 3-point boost there with water 1, makes it quite expensive.
I think stronghold into 2 tunnels is probably the best move, no?
Well,
Because
except for I wouldn't have enough. It would only give me 1 dwelling, because this is what I'm thinking. I mean, there's a possibility. I mean, I need to build on.
well, you have 2 dwellings left. So if you do
Yeah.
a stronghold, you still have a town. You don't need to build C5. So you can just build H8 and I3, right? With your tunnels. Because stronghold gives you a town without having to build C5.
Yeah, I guess I can just build like a stronghold on E9.
Yeah.
Build a trading post anywhere, and then just tunnel with the rest of the stuff.
But you don't even need to build another training post. That's my to put down your last 2, because I don't think you will have enough juice to put down more
It's
than
fair.
2 dwellings.
I have
Yeah.
air 1 and I have the TP bonus, but you're right that it might not be worth the extra 3 points. It's
okay,
you know.
But I think you still can. I think you still can.
Yeah, I'm just
it
trying
shouldn't be.
Stronghold for town 1. And I really only have 2 tunnels left.
But are you connecting?
Yeah, that's the other.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think in a perfect world I would go stronghold 2 tunnels and then build a 3rd dwelling on E8 and then also build a trading post, so I would have 3 dwellings. And I'm trying to figure out if that's extended.
I think. Well, maybe you can do that if you have enough power for a double dig. Yeah, maybe.
Which no one else. Yeah, I mean, unless Darklings take it, like I have a town coming. I have a priest. I can take a priest town, send 2 priests. Even if I don't get any leech, like it's slow. But anyhow.
I could always.
Sorry, go ahead.
Not at the moment, but I could always eventually just maybe put a worker to E8.
Yeah,
But I don't
for
think
sure.
I will. It's not in my plans.
For sure, it's a possibility. The reason why it's a little bit better for me is because you're not yet on G3 and you only have 1 ship. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So my thinking right now is water 1 even worth it?
This stage of the game, well, might be actually. Not sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's worth it because you
I'm thinking of taking air 3.
Air 3.
Yeah, And then building another temple to take fire too.
Oh, that's. I don't think that's too expensive. I think you're better off with just building your water one and building 3 TPs, right? For your 2 towns. Like maybe sanctuary and TP on the south, and then 2 TPs plus a dwelling on B2 or something like that.
Every TP I build is taken away from my end bonus tile.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I'll
Maybe
test
you're
it.
right.
I'll test it.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll see.
Do I need this leech?
Just in the best of worlds, I'm building 3 more TPs, which is 9 points. But right then, I'm getting 4 extra points in air, and then maybe 4 points in fire.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I tend to have enough workers. 1.
Do I need this leech?
Just catching up with chat here. You have nothing to do with coins. The stronghold is probably good. Yeah, it's a good point. I do have did have a ton of coins here, and then I don't need to build on C5. Yeah, for sure. It always feels weird not like working so hard to get to hexes, especially in a spade type game, and then not building on stuff. But yeah, I think that's totally right. Connection has to be a priority right now. Yes, especially given the fact that halflings aren't connecting, darklings don't have a huge network. If I can manage to connect here, I think it's a good bit of points. If not 18. Or am I crazy here? Yeah. Bit of a dogfight on the air cult.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think.
Especially with Air 3 kind of possibility looming around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of tempting. I mean, I don't know. Is it?
Well, I
As
guess
soon as-
I'm pretty sure if he takes Air 3 right now, nobody is gonna like. You're not gonna put 3 priests.
No,
like
just to
Bowser
tie?
is-
No.
Nobody's
Just-
gonna, especially Bowser, right?
just watch me get Air 2 and catch up on that, seriously.
How many
Yeah.
points is it when 3 people tie for first?
I
Because
think it's
14 isn't divisible by 3, not into a whole number.
everybody
it's
has 4. I think everybody has 4, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's 4 points.
It's 4 points each. So you went from 4 to
Yeah.
8, and then we've gone down to 3 each.
Yeah, so I'm
So it's plus
gaining
4 to
5
you,
points.
and then it's a total swing of 5 against myself and Bowser by taking our 3.
Yeah. Yeah, it forces other people. If other people want to catch up to him, then they have to do stuff that doesn't really do, that isn't optimal for each other player that wants to catch up. So I think see the reasoning behind that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, because my thinking is that if I do build TPs with water one, I'm going to build 3, which is 9 points. And it's going to take away from my dwelling path tile.
Yeah,
Ooh, fair
that
point.
is a good point.
Yeah.
That is a good
Very
point.
fair point.
So that way you only build 1 TP in the center, I believe, or somewhere.
Yeah. I'm going to build a TP, probably giving somebody leech.
Mm-hmm.
Probably dwarves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never did get any leech in the center, which is part of why gray factions are usually pretty strong. Is securing those middle hexes is usually just so valuable for leech, but there hasn't been an upgrade there. And at this point, if you upgrade on E6, it's going to be like way too much power that I don't want.
Also, just noticed that the priest towns have both gone away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was expensive, but, you know. I think pretty much for all I'm doing is just like a single tunnel, and then I'll have a worker and a priest left and 3 coins. So that can be a trading post, which is worth 3 points, or the resource points are worth 1, and I can send the priest to air. So the question is that priest worth 2 points to the table anywhere on a cult?
Yeah.
And like water, but you're just going to neutralize that with another priest, so you and I can just trade priests there. It doesn't seem great. Beating Darklings on air for second is not super compelling, because that's like a possible 1 point, like in a swing of 2. So sort of playing that around in my head, I'd love to send it to water if I knew that all your priests were tied up, Danny, because 2 points for 2 points is like a wash, and then it's just an extra 2 against you. But I assume that would just be neutralized. So it kind of seems
it
like...
would be, yeah.
I
only need 1 priest.
Kind of seems like my end game is just like tunnel and then build that trading post again, and then be left with an extra dwelling that I don't have anything, like nothing I can do with. Yeah. Someone says priest to air is worth it, I think. It would just be for second place. So right now we're each sitting at 3 points. Like Bowser and I each have 3 points on air. If I go priest to air, is I would be going from earning 3 points to 4 points. So I'd earn a point against everyone, and then I'd have an extra point against Darklings, because they'd go down 1. Darklings would lose a point to the table. But I think that priest itself is worth 2 points if I convert it, if I use it as a worker for a trading post. So my argument is that it's worth more points to just build the trading post. That makes sense. So the question is, do I want to give Danny 2 for 1 or Bowser more expensive leech? I think I give it to Bowser because you've been...
I'm going to refuse the leech anyways, so...
You're going to refuse it anyhow?
I don't really need leech anymore right now.
Yeah, I think I just give you... They just favor the more expensive leech offer.
And that's where I have to think a bit.
Gray, if that's... I don't know how to pronounce your username, my apologies, but... so I would earn a point. If I build the trading post, it's worth 2 points on the pass, plus 1 extra point for air 1. So building a trading post is 3 points. It costs a resource point. So by building it, I'm spending a resource point to gain 3 points for a net of 2, versus saving the resource point for a point and then earning, and then sending a priest to the cult is worth 2 points to the table, 3 for Darklings, versus just straight up 3 to the table by building the trading post. Yeah. Okay. I was starting to question my math there, so I'm glad that I wasn't incorrect.
So here the reasoning is that I was lacking exactly 1 gold to be able to upgrade shipping once, dig B6 with 2 priests, and build trading posts and 2 dwellings, and tying dwarves on network. And I'm not sure whether it's worth it, because you will likely send a priest to water, to air, I think, which removes me 1 point, 2 point swing.
Me? I mean, we were just talking about that. I think given that I have the TP bonus in air 1, my priest is better used as a worker.
Oh yeah, right, yeah. I think I'll accept that regardless.
And your priests are better as just random digs, even if you have nothing to build on them. So my guess is that
Yep.
we will just end the game tied on air.
Yep.
No. I had to think about it for a second, but no.
It was pretty obvious you were going to take it.
I mean, you know, you have to kick the tires on it. What can I do with five power? I can't even get a worker out of it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 points for 2 coins is pretty bad at this point. All right. More expensive each time. Sure.
And I still think about accepting this one.
You're thinking about accepting this one, eh?
Yep. Because this way I can just take 2 priests. No. No, I don't think I can actually. Because I need what? I need 2, 8. No, 2, 7, right? So I've got my 2, 7. Up shipping. And all that nonsense. Question is.
That's some incredibly efficient. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Bowser.
I do foresee a world where mermaids, the sneaky mermaids, you just have 2 remaining priests to send them to water and say, "Hello, I'm gonna take you 4 points away."
That is one option. The other option is to send them both in fire, and to get second place in fire, which I think is the safest plan. But
it is the safest one, yeah.
I think taking the points from Bowser is better. But
yeah, but he can still retaliate if I do that,
that's
right?
True.
Yeah, I can still retaliate indeed.
But you could also put a priest into fire to just prevent me from taking second place if I put a priest in fire.
Yeah.
You could do that, but I think that is less. I don't think that's super. Well, maybe it's good for you, but you're just losing 2 points to gain nothing, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think you will do that.
No.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, if I take these slates, it's only to make sure I don't lose water to you. I don't have like a 4-point swing. So basically, it's just I'm losing 4 VP to try to gain 4 VP.
Yeah, that can't be correct.
You attack me.
I think whatever I do, your best bet is to just use your priest as digs, right? Especially if I go in fire.
Yeah, because you can just wait for me to take the slate, lose that 4 points, and do the other thing. And and I think that's the best bet. So I just also suck it up and just no.
What do you have left to do, Ryan?
Basically, I'm probably just going to build a temple. Go for fire 2. And then take
that, mermaids.
Work a town.
Take the double.
It's fine. My plan was to go in fire anyway, so at least there's no priest town left. But and he's too late to take a priest action and defend it.
Yeah, I would have liked to have a priest town for sure, and put it in fire to equal.
No.
That was the thinking behind not taking water 1 and going air 3 instead.
Yeah.
I was just too slow on.
Ryan, why didn't you just, as opposed to building the temple, why didn't you just dig and build a dwelling on B3, or am I miscalculating something? For a town.
I could have built there, but then on my other town, Yeah, that would have had to build a trading post. So
You had a trading post on E6, right? And then you upgraded it to a temple. So wouldn't have it been cheaper and you would have scored more points like if you just dug B3 and built another dwelling, which you had?
But he wouldn't have Fire 2. He took Fire 2 with that temple, so it wouldn't have formed a town immediately. So you would have need to build another TP. I think that's what Ryan is saying.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
I could still take the priest action, but then nah, it's not worth it.
Yeah, you're gonna run out of time. Yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
These workers are 1 point, right?
Yeah.
now.
So it's another 4 points.
Yeah.
I'm amazed at how many cult points you're getting, Bowser, from a single priest each to fire and water, and then taking 2 8 VP towns. It's like an incredibly efficient cult position to win two cults that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with my cult positions as well. Like
Yeah.
having 2 second places like that is pretty neat.
It is. Well, as it was said earlier, it's like it is a spade like if round 4 spade game, so people will use their priests to upgrade spades rather than anything else. Plus, there's like mermaids going for hard shipping, so they have
Right.
less competition.
Yeah, I went for both. Exactly, I went for ship and digs. So
and
yeah.
I have like a pretty okay time.
Oh, these 15 points feel so good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Passing for a smooth 15. Yeah.
I'm like what 6 points away from Darklings, I guess, from mermaids. If I'm not mistaken.
Something like that. I think.
Scoring 38 of.
Oh, you managed to get 15 on network. Okay, nice.
Yeah, which is okay. So yeah, I'm thinking I'm 553 for 159 on mermaids.
Yeah, it looks like that. I think.
Yeah,
I took an extra leech. I shouldn't have, but yeah.
Right.
That was a fun game.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I really like that H4 mermaids placement. I think it's the key when in that matchup.
I think so
against
too.
like against gray, brown, and like mermaids or swarmlings. I think blue factions need to go H4 in that matchup because it just puts so much pressure on everyone else.
It really does. Yeah.
It gives you that opportunity of getting more leech than if you just start in the west. But
yeah.
Then again, maybe if Darklings start E5, then my round 2 plan maybe just goes to shit because they take E4 and I cannot expand through the west like that. So it's debatable, I guess.
A really interesting thing about this, which goes along with what you're are saying, Danny, is that like you built on D5 and you literally never did anything with it, right? Like halflings
That's
eventually
true.
dug C3 to brown, but just to convert to points at the end. But you never took C3, you never took C4. Yet that whole game I couldn't really touch either of them for connection, right? Like I would have much preferred to like connect to C3 and tunnel to C4 and take C5 and do normal Dwarves North things. But I never touched either of those and you didn't either. It was just like, and you didn't even upgrade that dwelling. It was just like a huge threat that just cost me to ultimately like, you know, do an ugly double dig on E8 and yeah, it was really interesting just having this extra tension in the game for sure and having to just like figure out, I don't know, other things to do.
Yeah, I think it like it goes to this. Yeah, exactly that. You know, when you have a threat, maybe it's better to not act on it. But also, like there was a clear way. I wanted to make use of the dwellings that I built in the western part to be included in my towns because I knew that I was playing a relatively low footprint game because I was investing my resources in shipping and upgrading digs, and I didn't have Earth One. So it made more sense for me to actually pay more expensive digs to build a town where I have more initial structures. Like which is
Right.
why I dug E3, because it instead of paying more VP for dwellings, more resources for dwellings, I paid more resources for digs on a dig round,
Right. Right.
which was effectively granting me 2 points. So given that, I think I from round 4 or maybe round 3, I was already thinking of not doing anything on the D5 area in the center because of that.
Right. Very interesting.
So
What do you think I could have done differently to, like, this question for any of you? What do you think I could have done differently to win this game? Or sort of my main blunders?
I think everybody's blunder was to overbid their halflings instead of mermaids. Like earlier in the game, I said like it feels weird to like potentially see darklings going in the 30-point faction after the auction, but it did feel weird to see mermaids going in for 30 at this setup as well.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
all.
I think mermaids were, and I think one other point for that is because dwarves are in the game, and dwarves are a faction that don't put pressure on the ship VP tile,
Yeah.
which
Right.
gave me enough leeway to, like, with some careful planning, I was able to really plan out my rounds and my actions to. I hit it tweet, which is the maximum of
which is the
times you can hit
maximum
it,
possible. That's huge.
pretty much.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
incredible.
I scored 18 plus 15, so that's 33 points on it, which is.
Did you score 9 points off it round 2?
Yeah.
Oh,
I scored 9 round 2,
Wow.
9 round 4, and 15 in the end.
That's the max you could really possibly do. Anything more than that, it would be like way too hard on your economy. But I guess you were able to accomplish, because that's upgrading your ship twice by round 2.
2, exactly.
Yeah, that's huge.
There was a line where I upgraded my ships to, instead of upgrading digging, I upgrade ships in round 4.
Right. Yeah, wow, that's incredible. 9, 9, and 15 on that one pass tile. Yeah, it's a good point. I've never actually thought about that in a sense. I mean, that it's like it's kind of like having darklings in the game takes some pressure off the spade actions. You think about that. There's more spades in the game if darklings are in the game, because they're just not apt to take them. But in the same regard, it's like dwarves being in the game takes pressure off of the ship pass tile, so it actually just adds a little bit of value to that pass tile for mermaids. Or I guess you could almost value mermaids just a little bit higher with dwarves in the game, because they're going to have better access to that. I do think we lost Danny on the voice channel, it looks like, but I'm sure he'll be back.
We did lose him.
So interesting is that mermaids had 35 total points for the pass tiles.
Wow. Okay, let's just I'll go over to the game results here on screen so people can take a look at them. So we have mermaids, darklings, dwarves, halflings in order.
So the difference of the games was the bonus cards and the favorite tiles. Favorite tiles, darklings had 31 points, which is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But they only had 6 points for the bonus tiles.
Yeah.
So if they ended up getting
right.
The dwellings that I passed on to, they would have probably won the game.
Right.
Winning the game, I don't know, because I'm short on 4 coins. I would be like more coins short, hence I would probably I probably wouldn't have been able to compete for network as much. So I probably wouldn't have won the game.
If you're losing 3 points on network but getting 8 points for a pass tile.
I'm not quite sure I can dish out 8 of them. Probably though. Yes. Yeah, getting those dwellings and then maybe building a temple to make sure I can actually get those, get the cults.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure whether I win, but it's likely I could have done a bit more.
Right.
Yeah, I think darklings and mermaids in general were underbid, maybe, in comparison to halflings and dwarves.
Mm-hmm.
I think you played a solid game, Aaron. I don't see any. Maybe you could just have risked the C3 connection and C4 route, maybe, but it's
yeah,
iffy.
Yeah.
Iffy. It's really iffy. I'm not sure it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure it pans out.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's
And
true.
like on the surface, part of it, my my intuition is to somewhat not blame is a strong word, but add some cost to the fact that there wasn't upgrading in the Central Peninsula until later on in the game when I couldn't really afford taking those big of leeches. But at the same time, I was looking at the game results, and I did. Let's look at power gain through structures here. I thought I was just looking at it. So power gain through structures, I gained 20. Danny, you only gained 18, so I gained more power than you. And halflings and darklings both at 24. So
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of leech in that game.
no,
These are
and
low
to add
numbers.
to that, in a sense, I kind of had, like, I had really good leech. Like, I got 20 for 6. So it wasn't as much as darklings, but darklings had 24 leech for 16 PP. So,
Wow, that is really good. 20 for 6.
20 for 6 is pretty incredible. Does anyone have an idea of what sort of like an average, like, power gain through structures like in a game? Like what sort of a baseline for that is? Either of you guys or anyone in chat have an opinion on that?
I don't know. We should.
No idea.
I guess there's some Snellman statistics.
I'm sure.
I don't have them on them. I don't know where to check exactly, but I'm sure you can find that.
Right.
That information.
Someone in chat saying 30 is excellent. That makes sense to me. I was sort of thinking like mid 20s is decent, mid to high 20s is pretty good, and that this would be like a low leech game because we probably averaged out at like 22 power each through structures on average. It's a bit of a lower leech game. Yeah, interesting. Danny, also have to note that you took 3 7-coin actions, which can often be an indicator of success. And someone in the chat noted earlier on, which definitely is interesting, that you took exactly 0 spade actions.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
your power was just
which is what
coins. You just took one
coins.
priest and took 21 coins through 3 different actions, upgraded your digs, and went that route. So
I think that's a good remark to put out because we all said that the game was spade tight, right? And so instead of forcing your game into taking spades, why not dig another way, which is upgrading digging and digging with workers in this game, and especially since the game rewarded that because there's a round 4 digging event.
For sure.
So I think that's like any faction that can reasonably put a good amount of early dwellings can be good in a round 4 dwelling situation, given that maybe they take Fire 1 because they have to support the expensive cost of upgrading diggings. Whereas Halfling don't have to do that. But any faction can presumably do that. Most of them, right?
For sure.
So I think that goes to show that there's a lot of there's a lot of underestimated factions that can get a good yield out of the round 4 digging events, other than Darklings, Alchemists, and Halflings.
And when was the first time that you did a hard dig?
I think it was after I upgraded my digs. So I think I
don't remember. Was it round 4?
Exactly.
Did you do some digging in round 3 perhaps?
No, I don't think so. So the only I'm not sure, but I don't. I think I never did a hard dig before. I never dug before round 4.
Right.
After I upgraded my digs.
After you upgraded your digs. Right.
Yeah, because I upgraded ship twice in round 2, then placed like 4 dwellings, then another dwelling on D2 in round 3, and then upgraded my digs and dug I6. I6 was my first dig, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. Just different way to sort of grow your economy, that as opposed to using spades to dig hexes to blue to build dwellings on them, you converted your power to coins to shipping, and then just built on your natural hexes to build out your worker economy, and then leveraged that in Fire 1 to upgrade digs, and then dig the hexes that you needed in primarily a digging round.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I knew that there wasn't much pressure for me to take crucial hexes, because with the digging upgrading, I could be flexible in where I choose to build my towns. So yeah,
that's awesome.
That was the plan, and it worked out, I think.
That's great. Any questions from chat? just going to sort of turn it over for sort of final remarks from the gang here. But as they're talking, if you have any sort of final questions to help wrap us up, feel free to post them in chat, and I'm happy to just ask them on stream. And yeah, if there's anything like you saw in the game that was a little bit confusing, or you weren't sure about a particular piece of strategy or something like that you're hoping that any of these guys can unpack a little bit more, feel free to post in the chat, and I'm happy to ask them. But yeah, while we wait to see if anyone responds to that, do you guys have any final thoughts on the game?
Nope. Not very much.
I think halflings, you often get like the round 4 spades. You often like take it for granted that they're going to be good, but obviously I don't know. I don't think I know how to play that faction.
Yeah, I think maybe going I8 was a mistake, but I'm not convinced that it was also. So
Not sure.
I think, yeah, because you didn't end up connecting, right?
No.
And you end up only making 2 towns. So so even if you don't make a town on the eastern continent, maybe that would have given you more leech and more economy displacement to actually ship more and get 2 towns somewhere else, like one in the center and one north, right? Not having to combine both of
And
the
maybe
northern
compete on
spots.
connection.
Yeah, and maybe compete on connection, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that I8 gave me a lot. Like it seems that it blocks me because you take H5 from me, but actually I don't really mind that much as we saw in the game.
And Ryan, was
So
your
I think-
opening dwelling on I8 as opposed to E6?
It was I8. No, it started off with E6, and then my second dwelling I put on I8.
Right. So Darklings placed double east, and then you responded by going I8. So in retrospect, I'm curious, like if you think, having played this game, if you think a better placement would have been somewhere in the east between Darklings, or sort of elsewhere on the map.
I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I don't know either.
With Darklings going double east, I don't know where else. I still
the thing
think
is,
F5 is still difficult. Like, yes, you get all the income, then.
I think I think if you go F5, Darklings don't go double east, and then oh wait, you could know that because they place before you.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess the option is placing F5 first move to see if Darklings want to sort of respond by going on G5, and then if they do, just sort of making a bridge town.
But if I go F5, then they go G5, E5.
You live with that. It's okay. I think you,
Yeah, I don't know.
you can.
Tough situation for both towns, because then I have to win G2, and then maybe bridge across to H5.
But like you saw in that situation, they put their priest in water, so you would have been safe with the double dig because they wouldn't have an extra dig. I think to
Did they get the
place.
priest? Who took the priest? Danny took the priest.
I took priest.
Yeah, I took the priest.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
It's really hard to say, but it's tricky. And
Well,
it's all that H4 positioning that makes it. tricky.
It
But
really
yeah,
did change
it's really-
it changed a lot of the texture of the game. It was very, very, very interesting. So I'm super grateful to just have the opportunity to play with you guys, but also happy that you chose that line just so we could sort of experiment with something a little different. It was definitely a lot of fun, for sure. Cool. Well, thanks so much, guys, for playing tonight and for coming on to chat through this game. It was a lot of fun. It was really great.
Yep. Thanks to you for inviting us.
For sure. I think we'll wrap things up there. Thanks for everyone who's tuning in and hanging out in chat and stuff like that. I'm probably going to continue doing these things every Friday with sort of different people on each week to some degree. I'm sure you'll see some of the same faces week to week, but if always looking for new people to jump on. So if you do have any interest in playing, don't worry about your play level. You don't need to be an expert player to play. I'm happy to play with a mix of people, different play levels. So don't worry about that. If you have any interest at all, just send me a message. Easiest way is to get in touch with me is just on BGA, or you can just add me on Discord and message me that way. Be great to hear from you. And yeah, once again, thanks everyone for tuning in, and I hope to catch you next week. Bye for now.
All right. Bye, guys.